Greetings everyone, Colonel Kristen Thompson here, and we're here in the 55th Wing Heritage Museum to do my second interview with a person that I have a great deal of respect for, our technical advisor, Mr. Jeff Johnson. I'm going to ask him a series of questions so you can get to know him better, and it's going to be part of our round of interviews that we do with niche roles across the wing where I want people to get to know people that really have a distinct influence on things that we do here in the 55th Wing. So without further ado, I'm going to start the interview and I'm going to ask Jeff a series of questions. You'll get to know him, and I think by the end of this, you'll have a healthy understanding of what the technical advisor does for the 55th Wing. So, Jeff, it's a pleasure to have you here with me to talk about what you do for the 55th Wing. Normally, I do an introduction and we talk about people's bios, but I want to give you an opportunity to talk about something that might not normally be in your bio.
Sure, and it's a pleasure to be here. So, something not in my bio. Well, I grew up as a military brat. My dad was in the Army. I grew up around military bases, mostly in Texas, Fort Bliss, and then we moved to Fort Worth, where my dad. That was the last time that I lived with him when in the Army, because I entered the Air Force from there. So, I have a strong military background throughout my family. My brother was in the Air Force for a period of time. Aunts and uncles had served, so military service is in my family. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
My younger sister was in the Air Force. We were at the Air Force Academy together, and then it was a pleasure to serve with her for a couple of years at Tinker. So I understand the family business aspect of that. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming and sitting down with me, and we're just going to roll right into it. Okay. First question is, what drove you to serve your country and the local community, and then how long did you serve in the United States Air Force?
So as I said, military service has been in my family. I think it wasn't until after high school. I did junior ROTC in high school, so there was a military connection there, but I didn't really make the decision to actually join the military until I'd been out of high school for about a year and a half. And for me, it just felt like I needed at that time in my life to do something serious, if that makes sense. I just felt like I needed to go out on my own and do something. And then I don't know that I intended it to be a career, but it turned into a career. And I was on active duty for 26 years before I retired.
Amazing.
Yep.
And retired as a chief. So pretty awesome, way awesome actually. Okay, can you talk about what you did while you were on active duty? Sure.
So I was actually a Vietnamese linguist, and that took me to Okinawa, Japan.
Yeah.
I actually did two separate tours there for a total of 11 years. I took a break in between and taught at tech school for 4 years at Goodfellow, which was a great assignment, very fulfilling assignment. And as I said, went back to Kadena the second time. Stayed there until 2005, and then I PCS'd here, where I flew. And then I was in the 97th. I was in the ops group staff for a while, OGV. Went back to the 97th and stayed there until I retired in 2005. So, a lot of hours on these airplanes, about 6,300 hours.
Amazing.
For like I said, 26 years active duty, and with the exception of the 4 years teaching, it was all flying on the jets, all around the world.
Yeah. That's the great thing about the platforms that we fly here is the expeditionary nature of it. Yep. People are able to cross COCOMs like very easily, like no other platform. All the RJs and the variants plus the compass call. It's really, really remarkable. The places that we can go and the things that we can do on board the tremendous aircraft that we have celebrated in this museum. Okay, so you retired in what year?
I retired in 2014.
Okay, so pretty recent.
Yep, fairly recent.
Yeah.
I actually worked as a contractor supporting the OG staff for about 3 years.
Okay.
Actually, it was about 2 years on the OG staff, and then they moved me up supporting the wing as a senior tech advisor. And then when the government position came on, I applied for the job and was hired by then Colonel Mannion.
Yeah, very nice.
And been in this job now for coming up on 4 years.
Okay, tremendous. Yeah, I know I have to give a shout out to Colonel Mannion and Colonel Marks for hiring you. Thank you. That's awesome. Okay, can you talk about what the technical director does for the 55th Wing?
Sure, I can try. It's really kind of nebulous. It's kind of hard to describe everything that I do. It's kind of a catch-all position. But there's two main things. As the SIGINT functional manager for the wing, it's my job to tell you that we're legal and meeting all of our our legal requirements and obligations. But what probably keeps me the busiest is working with the acquisition community on the technology that's going to go on these aircraft in the next 5 or 10 years. I work very closely with Big Safari, ACC A5I, and Airstaff A26 on where we're going with the future. So that's what takes up most of my day.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, and I know that all the people that you partner with, they talk to me all the time, and they're huge Jeff Johnson fans, as am I. So it's tremendous work that you do on behalf of the wing and then on behalf of all the platforms. Talking about plans for the future, of course we'd like you to stay for as long as possible, but any thoughts to life and career, obviously post Air Force active duty and then post being a technical advisor?
Well, I don't have any immediate plans. I plan to stay in this job as long as the wing is happy with me and as long as I'm happy coming to work every day.
Yes.
I love my job. I don't see me pursuing any other opportunities as far as career-wise after this. I think this is where I plan to finish out. I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 years if we can make it that long. And then after that, I'm really just looking for retirement or, yeah, absolutely. Maybe a riding lawnmower and figure out where I'm going to have lunch every day.
Time to max relax, right?
Yep.
Any plans to move somewhere else, or you, because you're kind of a brat where you grew up everywhere, so maybe stay in Omaha?
I used to want to get back to Texas because I grew up in Texas, but the kids have all moved out and they live local, and we've got grandkids here, so we're here.
Nice, I like it. I like it. Now, speaking of, if you do stay here, you've planted some pretty significant roots, and I know you're very active in the community. Can you talk about kind of the partnerships and relationships you have with the local community? Sure.
So I live out in Gretna, and for the last probably about 10 to 12 years, I've been very active in both the American Legion Post and the VFW Post. I've been an officer really in both posts for the last 10 years. I was actually the American Legion Post commander for 2 years, about 4 years ago. I'm currently the adjutant, but I'm also the American Legion District 8 finance officer. So District 8 covers Sarpy, Douglas, and Washington counties. So from a district perspective, I just kind of monitor the finances for the district. I'm also, just recently I joined the Gretna City Planning Commission, kind of helping the city plan the future, because Gretna is a very, very fast growing community.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot going on out there. So I volunteered for that because I just kind of wanted to understand how local government worked, and just to kind of be involved in helping shape the community, since it's going to be my home, I think, for a long time. So,
very nice.
Yep.
Yeah, passing through Gretna on the way down to Lincoln, obviously to go see ops, it's a sprawling community, and it looks like it's a great place to live. So that's tremendous. Well, that's the end of all of my questions, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to close out the interview and maybe share what you like best about being here at the 55th Wing.
Sure. This is really a lifetime commitment for me. My entire adult life has been around these airplanes, and even when I retired from the Air Force, I knew I wanted to be involved, and I still enjoy it. I still have a passion for the mission, and the Wing is a great place. There's a lot. I've formed some great friendships. I wouldn't even call them friendships. It's extended family. This is just a great place to work, and I'm happy to be here.
Could not have said it better myself. I'm very happy to be here as well, and it's nice to partner with you on so many things and so many upcoming, technical type of support activities where we're trying to drive this platform into the future and into the future fast. So can't thank you enough for all that you do, not only for this wing, but of course for the Air Force. 26 years as a chief, that's pretty darn cool and pretty darn important. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
You bet. Well, folks, that's the end of our interview. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully you know a little bit more about what it means to be a technical advisor and what it means to be our technical advisor extraordinaire, Mr. Jeff Johnson. Till next time, see you guys later.